Welcome to Robin and Rose.
We're a husband and wife team running a home-based online gift shop.
Join us in our projects as we DIY our way into building a better house and a better home.
Hello,
Hello
everyone!
everyone!
This is the first episode of a multi-part series.
Kaso, hindi ito woodworking build.
At hindi din ito direct makeover sa bahay.
We will be helping our neighbor build their own computer.
Yes. Ever since na dumami yung clients and inquiries ng online store namin, napakalaking tulong nung sumali sa team namin sina Kat and Carl. So nung nabanggit nila na may plano silang bumili ng computer, presentado tong isang to.
For every service-oriented task, usually, observation and understanding yung unang step. So, what we'll do is we'll have a talk with Kat, observe how she uses her computer para maintindihan natin yung needs niya and ma-maximize natin yung budget para dito sa bagong computer na gagawin natin para sa kanya. So, with that, punta tayo sa kanila. Fortunately, mga 30 steps away lang yung bahay nila.
Yeah, sobrang lapit lang.
So, samahan nyo kami. Let's go over there.
Hi, so nandito kami sa bahay nila Kat, one of our neighbors, and she's also one of the VAs for Craig Crafts and Itanimo Pencil.
Hi!
Ayan. So, we're here to have a look at her current laptop and we will try to understand kung paano niya ginagamit para yung upgrade na computer niya ay angkop doon sa usage niya. Ano ba yung normal na gamit mo dito sa laptop?
Google ko yan. Internet and yung notepad lang. Yung usual na ginagamit natin for career crafts.
Okay.
Like yung Facebook, Shopee, yan ang usual na ino-open ko po eh.
Okay. Mga gano'ng kalaki usually yung mga files na dinadownload?
Pinakamalaki na kuya ay
Mga,
may 1 gig.
okay. So, roughly mga ganun size. Tapos nun, sinostore mo lang sila lahat sa hard drive mo?
Opo. Tapos binubura ko na siya
Afterwards?
dito pagka-download. Opo.
Dahil napupuno?
Dahil, hindi ko po sure kung napupuno eh, pero bumabagal.
Okay.
Napansin natin sa kanya bumabagal. So, usually, pagka na-download ko na po siya, I make it a point na i-erase na siya dito sa laptop.
Okay.
Yun lang. Pero usually yan yung ginagamit ko po and mainly, ano po sa kanya.
So, mainly chat,
Okay.
watching movies. Gumagawa ka ba ng mga presentations, PowerPoint? Excel?
Excel, yeah, opo. Pero presentation, once in a while.
Hindi ka naman naglalaro?
Hindi.
Yung mga
Hindi
bata
pa.
yung naglalaro?
Hindi ko siya
Okay.
ginagamit for laro. Wala siyang games of any kind na naka-install. Office lang po talaga ko yan.
Okay, so that's out of the picture.
Usually, hindi ko yan ganyan. Ang na-experience ko sa kanya, kuya, is kunwari, may nire-replyan ako sa itanimo. Lilipat ako ng ganyan, yan, Shopee kasi may nag-message.
Yep. Matagal.
Matagal.
Okay,
Kaya matagal po siya usually bago siya makalipat.
I see. Usually, nakakapagbukas ka ba? Or yung feeling mo nalilimitahan ka kasi may kailangan kang buksan na ibang program habang nagbabrowse?
Nalilimitahan ako, kuya. Kasi nalilimitahan and at the same time, nababagalan ako sa kanya.
I see.
Kasi like usually, meron akong kailangan, kunwari, may client akong kailangan replyan agad. So, kailangan ko siyang, yung reply ko sa kanya, kailangan kong i-double check pa sa main na page or di po kaya i-coordinate pa sa inyo. So, I have to go sa Facebook,
Okay.
sa Messenger. Tapos, nagtatype pa lang po ako. Bagal na
Ano na siya?
Ilang minuto na siya inaabot.
Literal na minuto?
Opo.
Okay.
For isang client lang yun, kuya.
So, nakakahassle nga yun.
Opo. Yun yung experience ko sa kanya. Kaya, yeah, medyo...
So, can I have a look-see? Titingnan ko lang yung current specs niya.
Sige po. Kuya.
Para ma-compare natin. Para we can be sure na significant yung upgrade na mararamdaman mo doon sa gagawin natin.
Sige po, kuya.
Okay. 2 gigs yung RAM niya. Tapos yung processor, as per listing here, it's a Intel Bay Trail M quad core at 2.66 gigahertz. So, let's just check kung ano yung memory usage niya with just the browser and nothing else running. So right now, we're at 88% memory usage na halos wala pang tumatakbo. It's just the browser. Ano yung expectations mo dito sa bagong computer mo?
Mabilis, mas maging useful siya in a sense na kapag may kailangan akong buksan na page, mabubuksan ko kaagad, mako-coordinate ko kaagad, or makaka-paste ko kaagad kung ano yung mga kailangan kong gawin, or makapag-type agad ng mas mabilis. Definitely yung expectation ko sa kanya yung bilis lang po talaga ng para maging mas effective siya sa akin and mas efficient yung work ko.
Okay?
Yeah.
Thank you very much for the information and we'll try to do our best na ma-meet yan.
Thank you, Kuya.
Okay. Thank you, Kat.
Okay, so we've taken a look at Kat's laptop and we've talked to her about how she uses it as well as yung frustrations niya. If I were to sum up all of her issues with the current laptop, mabagal yung whole experience. And I think I know why. The main culprit sa tingin ko is itong 2 gigabytes na RAM lang nung kanyang laptop. Dahil 2 gigabytes lang, si Windows kumakain na yun ng mga around 1 gigabyte on its own while idling. On top of that, yung graphics niya ay integrated graphics. So that eats up another additional so-and-so na dami ng memory, let's say half a gigabyte, to do all of its process and display the stuff on the screen. So the computer, while idling lang, it's already using up around 75% of the RAM ng computer. So sobrang konti na lang na naiiwan for her browsing, for her other programs. That's why hindi makapag-multitask itong computer na ito. In our build, we'll try to address that by providing sufficient RAM dun sa target activities niya. I think the next culprit is naka-hard disk drive pa yung laptop. Long story short, hard disk drives are much slower than solid state drives. So we'll try to integrate a solid state drive into this new PC build. Okay, so when we're building a new PC, it's good to set yung a budget. And yung budget natin for this build is 16,000 pesos. That's excluding the monitor. Kasi separate natin bibilhin yung monitor from this. So our budget for the hardware is 16,000 and we'll try to stick to that or go under it. When we're canvassing parts, I like to start with the core, what I call the core components. Ito yung pieces that will dictate the main performance nung computer mo. So namely, this is the processor, the graphics card, and the motherboard. And usually these are the most depends on your specific build, pero usually ito yung mga mahal din na components. And usually you're stuck with these components the longest. Sila yung build around. All of the other pieces are there to support these components. So for our processor and graphics card, I think we'll have to go with a integrated graphics solution. So for Intel na producer, our options would be from their Pentium line. They also have a Celeron line na mas mura pa. Kaso I think it wouldn't be much of a performance upgrade if we go with that cheap. For the competitor, meron tayong AMD na supplier and meron siyang Athlon lineup. Long story short, Athlon has better graphics than
Pentium, pero Pentium has a edge sa single, yung mas mabilis siya na processor ng konti. So, let's see the best part, depende sa budget, pagka nag-start na tayo mag-canvas. I think a good target price for the processor would be around 2,000 pesos. Tapos itong motherboard, we'll have to get a motherboard that's compatible with our processor. So, this component will depend on our processor. A good baseline, I think, would be around 2,000 pesos as well. Next, for our RAM. If we're running Windows 10 as the operating system, the minimum that I would recommend would be 8 gigabytes. Any lower, and you'll run into the same issues that Kat is running into with her laptop. So, 8 gigabytes, I would like to go for 16 kasi with our limited budget na 16,000 lang, I doubt that we can hit 16 gigs. Next, we will use an SSD in this build. The question is, how large of a capacity? If pinakamura yung habol natin, nasa 120 gigabytes yung lowest na currently available, I think. We should try to get higher kasi yung 120 gigs baka mabilis mapuno. Paka-install mo na ng Windows, a few programs, and puno na siya. I think for this budget, baka maging ceiling natin around 500 gigabytes. If you have 500 gigabytes, that should be pretty much all of the long-term storage that Cat needs. Kasi hindi naman siya heavy downloader. Hindi naman siya nag-video edit or anything of that sort. Wala din siyang ini-install na games na malalaki yung ino-occupy na storage space. So, if she has around 500 gigabytes of total storage, that should be good. For prices pala. For the RAM, I think we should set an initial target of around 1,500 for 8 gigabytes. And sa SSD, I think for 500, baka mga 3,500 to 4,000, I'm not sure. Let's set 3,500 as the initial target. Next, sa hard disk drive, if we're able to get a 500 gigabyte SSD, we probably won't be needing a hard disk drive. But if we get something lower than that, like 120 or 240, we might need to balance it with more storage capacity. I don't know. This will depend on the SSD na makuha natin if we even get a hard disk drive. Assuming na makakuha tayo ng 500 gig na SSD, we won't be getting a hard disk drive. Sa power supply, we'll try to go for a budget-oriented pero non-generic na power supply unit. I don't want to cheap out on the power supply unit kasi if anything goes wrong with your power supply unit, it has the tendency to be able to damage your other components na nag-invest ka na ng pera doon. So, what's adding a few hundred more pesos to ensure na maganda yung quality ng power supply mo? And usually, out of all of the components dito sa na nililista natin, the power supply unit is one of the components na hindi mo pinapalitan. If you get a good quality one, it could stick around for years and years. Nagpapalit ka ng all of your other components. And kung magandang quality siya, it will stay true na workhorse, providing clean and good electrical supply for your computer. I think we should target mga 1.5 for this at the minimum. Next, for the PC case, that case doesn't really have much of an impact sa performance, especially na hindi naman masyadong umiinit yung parts natin kasi low power lang sila. So, we'll try to get the cheapest that we can get away with. I think around 1,000 would be a good budget. We'll try to go lower than that. For the keyboard and mouse, ang go-to ko is yung A4 Tech na keyboard and mouse na set. I forgot the model number. This is KRS something ata. Tapos these typically go for around 500 pesos or lower. Sa speakers naman, ang go-to ko for budget builds is yung Genius U2 something ata yan. Tapos these are also available for around 500 pesos or lower. For the monitor, we'll be canvassing and buying this separately kasi Kat specifically requested for a 24-inch monitor and there's no way sa budget na she's trying to stick under mga 18, 19 ganyan total. There's no way we'll be able to sneak in a 24-inch na brand new dito sa budget na to. So, we'll try to get a second-hand one na maayos. So, separate session tong pagbili ng monitor niya. For the cooling fans, this will depend on the case that we get. Kasi typically, may kasamang fans yung case. Minsan may power supply pa nga. Pero let's set a budget of around 300 pesos for this. Kasi we might need to add an additional exhaust fan, ganyan. For the AVR, I usually get yung secure na 500 watts na AVR. And these go around for around 500 pesos din. So with that, we have an initial target price of 13,300. It's under 16,000. Pero for sure, mamaya may ibang parts dito na baka mag-overshoot. So we'll try to keep the build as cheap as possible, below 16,000. Tapos kung may butal pa tayo sa budget, we'll go over the list again ng parts natin. And we'll try to upgrade the key parts that will have the most benefit sa performance ng computer. So, depende sa amount na matira, we'll check whether it's the processor, the RAM, or the SSD, kung ano man yung pinakamalaking benefit kay Kat based on her target usage. So, we've got all of our pieces listed down and yung target prices natin for each component. The next step that we will be doing is we're going online shopping! Yay! Ito yung masaya na part para sa akin. So, we'll be canvassing parts for each and we'll try to hit the target prices natin. In this stage, we will be going through the mindset. How do you know which part is better? How do you know kung aling store mas maganda bumili? That and all of the other considerations, we will be tackling dun sa next part ng series na to. So, stick around, stay tuned, and join us sa next stage nitong DIY PC build. Thank you for watching.
Ayun na naman ang aking asawa. Nakakita na naman siya ng mingming. Pag nakakakita siya ng mingming, ina-approach niya lagi. Di ka na dyan makakaalis. Bye!
1, 2, 3, go!
Ang dami ng tikuhan na parang ganyan. Ikakat mo nun dun sa video.
1, 2, 3, go!
If you enjoyed watching this video, please leave us a like. But if you thought it was terrible, you can also dislike.
We'd be honored if you would be part of our journey through our projects, marriage, and life.
Stay updated whenever we release new content by subscribing and hitting the bell notification icon below.